Y'all know the name of the show. It's Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. And what do guys do when they talk sports at the bar? They drink beer. So if you want to buy us a beer, you can Venmo us. The Venmo is at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports.
Honey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports.
Are you really doing season 4 of that stupid podcast?
Hey, joining us to another week of Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Bunch of guys hanging out at the bar drinking beer. MJ's Bar and Grill in Columbia, South Carolina. If you ever want to join us and you're listening and you're in the area, come on down and stop by. We do have a humongous crowd tonight listening to us, and always fun to have people come out.
The line's out the door.
Line's out the door, baby. That's right. Stay tuned as we discuss a bunch of new stuff. I'm getting off the college football train, but we're going to talk a little bit about Heisman, right? We're going to talk a little bit about more college sports or football, but then we're going to get into some college basketball, and then we're going to turn the page to NFL football for a few weeks, all right? And that's going to start tonight. Is that okay with everybody here?
Yes.
All right, because I know everybody's been begging me to do NFL at some point during the season as well.
And the loudest of them all decided to go play Palunco or Chipinko or whatever
she's
called.
playing. Yeah, she said she's all about the free food and drinks.
I think it's called Pikachu.
So there you go. So feel free to share the show with your friends. We have a Facebook group as well. You can join it. It's Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. If you really like the show a lot, just give us a share to your friends and give us a 5-star rating review. The whole 9 yards. That's what we like. And then if you really, really like the show to the point where you want to contribute to our alcoholism, you can do that. And that is by, and to my man Chief's non-alcoholism over here, his lime habit, lime and lemon habit. Yeah, you can do that by Venmoing us at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports is the Venmo handle. And you can do that, and then we will drink a round on you, and we would appreciate that. So let's get some introductions in. We got a smaller crowd here tonight, but we do that. You know what? To me, some of the best shows we do are when we have a smaller group of us, right? And we do have one returning champion over here, the fisherman himself, wearing his ripping fishing hat. Ripper the Predictor. What are you drinking, Ripper?
I am drinking a Copper Amber Ale.
Copper Amber Ale. Is it good?
It is good.
Okay.
I'm going to have another one.
Excellent. This is your boy Hanger, and I'm drinking a Sierra Big Little Thing IPA, and I do not think it's that good.
You like those big little things, don't you?
Hey,
Hanger.
the bigger the better, baby. The bigger the better.
Hanger, I'm not one to comment on garb or outfits, but do you happen to have a Werther's Original on you right now?
Oh, you don't like my shirt?
Little Kerrigan, a little Geritol in your pocket. You gonna drink scotch and cognac when you get home? Smoke a cigar?
I might have a sip of cognac. Yes. Yeah, VSOP, man. Yes, only the good stuff. Maybe some scotch. I did just buy 2 bottles of scotch today.
Oh, you like to taste the dirt? Without reaching the planter, throw it in your mouth, it tastes the same.
If you drink a 12-year-old scotch, you're not gonna.
It tastes like 12-year-old dirt.
I mean, you're a bourbon guy.
Good single malt is good.
Yeah, I could set 3 glasses of whiskey in front of you, 1 bourbon, a scotch, and like a Highland scotch, and like a Lagavulin or something like that, and that's from the Isle of Lay, I believe. And if you did it blind, you would be able to tell which one is which, but you would like all 3 of them. I guarantee you, man.
I've heard that story, song, and dance before, and it all tastes like dirt. But by all means, I'll be glad to try.
But this is not a whiskey show. This is a sports show. So let's turn the page on that. And what are you drinking there, my man, the Rebel?
Makers and Diet, as always.
Dirt and Diet?
Yeah, that's it. Dirt and Diet.
All right. And then we have the Chief. You got a new name for that?
Yeah, it's just,
you know anything new for that?
It's just ice water with lime.
With a twist
of the gods.
With a twist of lemon.
There you go.
It will be later.
So last weekend, Last weekend was the Army-Navy game. Nothing too exciting, right? I mean, we knew Army was going to win. They're just a better team overall.
Sounds good.
It was
Yeah,
just
I like
slightly more exciting than Florida State playing Louisville, and I say slightly because the Army won by 17 to 11.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, nothing to. It was.
Well, is there a more symbolic football game where the pageantry and the symbolism of the game mean more than the actual game does?
Yeah, like every year, this is what I see the meme. It says the only game where everyone playing it is willing to die for the people watching it or something.
That's true.
You know?
I mean,
So-
the last time one of those teams was like truly competitive and relevant, and I don't mean squeaking into the top 25.
1947
Probably
or
so.
something.
Yeah.
40s, 50s,
So again, they play the game for all the right reasons. So you watch it. It's not for you don't watch that for quality football. Let's put it to you like that. You watch it because there's not another football game on.
That's why they play it when they
Because
play
there's
it.
no other football game on. Yeah, exactly.
It's America's game.
America's game, baby. All right, so also that evening at 8 o'clock, they started the Heisman Trophy show, right? So Jayden Daniels wins it. I think I said he was going to win it just because of the pure numbers, and I think all of us kind of agreed that was most likely the case.
What was supposed to happen?
Yeah, exactly. So did they choose the right guy, Ripper?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to argue with his performance across the entire season.
Besides the fact that his
What I
team-
like about this year is, in the eyes of the voters, it wasn't about the best player on the best team, clearly, because LSU's got 3 losses. So I think the Heisman should be the best player in college football, and I think that's what they believe they voted for this year. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, every so often it's a player from a team that's not really dominant.
More often than not, the last 20 years, it's been the best player on the best team, it seems.
Yeah.
Or the one that got the most media hype surrounding them, like last year.
Right.
So
How did
no.
Mariota ever win?
He put up stats that year, though.
I know, but West Coast.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but Oregon had a really dominant team that year. They
Yeah,
were
that
in the top,
offense
they
was
were in the
strong.
playoffs. They did.
Oh, they made it to
blown up.
the championship game.
Yeah, they did. That's right. So I mean,
no, they got it right. I mean, it's supposed to be the best player. Best player won.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of cut and dry. It was going to be way more argumentative if he didn't win. Again, they got it right, unlike last year.
I think he had better numbers than Burrow.
They were close.
Yeah.
yeah, he had 4,938 yards or something like that. He had 50 touchdowns that were accountable towards him. 40 of those are passing. 10 of them are receiving.
Oh no, I
rushing.
said.
So
I made the comment. I said you take him and put him on that LSU national championship team Burrow had. He might do exactly the same thing because Burrow was just stacked all the way around both sides of the ball. I mean, again, that's the greatest college football team ever assembled, in my opinion. You put Daniels on that team, as long as he can keep it straight between the ears, they win a national championship.
yeah. So better than last year's Georgia team. That was a pretty good team, man.
No, man, that LSU team, again, I'd stack them against any football team.
I feel like that was the first year we were doing the Guys of Talking Sports, and we were all about mid-November. We were like, "Who's this guy Burrow?" You know, we couldn't even remember his name. I remember that.
Transfer from that terrible team up north.
Clearly, I wasn't here.
Yeah, you were not
I've
here.
been claiming him all season long.
All right, so I've been keeping an eye on this transfer portal. I've also been keeping an eye on all of the commits and all that on 24/7 Sports or whatever. And looking at this transfer portal, here's my thoughts on it. I want to get y'all's thoughts as well. Okay, so you're looking at the top 40 or 50 of the 1,200 or so, and they're good players. They're all five. There's one 5-star in there. A bunch of 4 stars, then a ton of 3 stars. But then you get past about the 60th, 70th player or so. Not a lot of talent. I mean, talent maybe, but these are guys that are just looking to play. But besides those 40 or 50 or so, I don't see much else in there, you know? So is this a place, what are y'all's thoughts on it? Is this a place to pick your team, or is this a place just to grab a person here and there?
Both, and throw NIL into the equation.
Yeah, I mean, the transfer portal right now, as I'm going through this, it's kind of ruining the whole recruiting process for these kids, because if you have a need, you are left with a decision. Do you go get an 18-year-old that you got to acclimate to the speed, the physicality of college football that's coming out of high school, Or you go get a guy who maybe just didn't get the opportunities he wanted. That's already been there, done it, knows the rigors of it, and you plug and play. What you're seeing now with these colleges, especially with the pressure to win immediately, and what have you done for me lately? They're going to the portal first, and then they backfill the holes with kids coming out of high school. And so, therefore, you've just got, high school gets you screwed royally in this whole deal. It's not even close. But then what you've got is what's in the portal is, you're right, basically now I think most of those kids going into the portal and those top people you're talking about, they aren't leaving. Look at the Ohio State quarterback. He's not leaving over playing time.
He's leaving because he was forced out.
Yeah, or you got a kid that played for a smaller school that had great numbers. Oh, I got to go get paid. Let me go get to this big school that's got all this money to throw around. That's where the NIL starts to filter in this. What people are losing and what I don't think these kids are understanding, you can go in the portal, doesn't mean you get picked up. And most schools, good for the coaches, if you go into that portal, don't come hightailing back if you don't get picked up. So, there was a kid, I meant to bring the name of last year. He was a big recruit. He thought he was. He went through the portal. He ended up going to North Texas. He left the Power 5 into North Texas because nobody picked him up. And he ain't getting paid, and now he's playing for a small group of 5 school.
Yes, so the quarterback that played for Florida in the last game against Florida State, Dylan Brown or something like that, he left Florida to go play for University of Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Big name program to a small program, but he was a 3-star out of college, 3-star in the portal. But I look at someone like Trevor Etienne, who's a 4-star talent, great running back. I think he's looking to get paid where he's not going to get paid at Florida, because we're going to be bringing in some bigger talent.
Well, and then the thing with the quarterback in Florida, look, they're not regulating this. It's the Wild West. So he didn't start there. He was a backup. He got to play in there late because of injuries, what have you. He transfers to Charlotte. He's now at a group of 5 school. He puts up big numbers. Guess what he can do the next year? He can transfer out of there again and get back to a Power 5 and get paid. It's almost like, let me take a step back, add my stats, impress somebody, and let's go do it again.
Right, but the second transfer he's going to have to sit out on.
They've got so many waivers and ways around that. And all these kids that have bounced around 2 or 3 times, they're not sitting out years.
Right, but they got a ton of waivers because of the pandemic, but those are going away.
Supposed to go away. They haven't gone away yet. That's the problem.
I don't think that they go. I don't think
Chaz
it's
Walker, North Carolina.
Yeah, and he ended up getting to play.
And then he got injured, but
correct. So, go ahead.
But he didn't get to play till the 4th game. Sorry.
That's fine. So I see a few different ways to look at this. One, for some kids, it's their dream to play college football because they know they're not going to get any farther than that. And they might find themselves in a unique position to have an opportunity to go get some playing time, maybe even start. So that's good for some of those people. But for the majority, like you were talking about, Hanger, what else do we have to compete with right now? You've got brand new recruits that are National Signing Days like a week away, the first one, then you got another one like 2 weeks. Those are scholarship spots that are going to be taken up. So if those individuals in the transfer portal don't do something soon, they're going to get left behind. They're not going to get that roster spot potentially.
That's what you're missing about this. It ain't about scholarships anymore. Scholarships drove it. Oh, we don't have a scholarship spot. That's okay. I got a $2 million NIL deal over here. You can pay for your school. So that's what you're seeing. Yeah. The scholarships are being used on the non-premier players because they're going to make enough coin to pay for it.
Their walk-ons are going to be paying to go to school.
So that's the thing, and they don't know how to rein it in yet. That's the problem. The NIL's out of control. The transfer portal's out of control. The transfer stuff was fine. It worked perfectly. You get penalized a year if you decide you're going to jump ship. You forced you a little bit of loyalty. It forced you to make a good, informed decision about where you should go to school. Now it's take one. If I don't like it, I'll move on. And again, it's.
But I'm looking at Georgia. They have 24, 25 commits for the next class, in the 2024 class, right? 24, 25 commits. Florida has 20. Florida State has 21 or 22. Like that's a lot of people to move into your roster, and then you can only pick and choose who you want on the portal as well at that point. Because how many players can a team take on every year? 25 or 30 at most.
But you got to keep in mind it's a numbers game. So you look at South Carolina, they can bring on 28. They just lost 17 to the portal that moved on. So
yeah, but how many people are going to be moving into the team that were seniors in high school this year, and then they're going to be moving on to the team? They probably have. I mean, I think South Carolina probably has 18 or 19 commits already. Lots of 3-stars. I think they have 1 5-star and some 4-stars. So,
in my opinion, if you're in that top 5% of player out of high school, nothing's going to change for you. You'll be everything will work exactly how it's worked for decades. Once you get outside of that, you got to hurry up and wait. You go out there, you impress. The portal opens up, and then you're going to sit and wait to see if they want to dive into that first. I think the first thing they need to do with the portal is change to where it does not coincide with high school recruiting, to where they don't. You risk if you don't take the high school kid because you're going to go into the portal, you're running the risk of losing a really good high school kid. They don't need to allow them to overlap at all.
And they're overlapping right now.
They need to have the portal at the end of the season.
Correct.
Do the spring portal only.
Correct.
Spring portal, okay. I mean, it would kind of make sense because it's not like they're going to just jump on a plane and fly out to wherever now and play.
Then you'll know who your high school commits are, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, and another thing, a lot of the head coaches were just bashing, the portal when it first really started to open up. Now you see they're using it as a kind of a cut your roster down to open up those new slots.
They're doing it out of necessity, not because they want to. I mean, again, whether you like the rules or you don't, if you're going to survive, you better learn to play with them.
I mean, if you're a head coach and you recruit somebody and then you sign them and then he gets here and he's like, well, that's not really what I thought he was. He's not the best character. He's not the best fit for the culture I'm trying to establish here.
What are you
Why
saying?
not?
You saying college football players don't have character?
I'm saying some, just like some people.
No,
Yeah.
Like me.
I'm being sarcastic.
So if you look at Colorado right now, they've taken up like 8 people from the portal. They have the most people out of the portal so far. Most of the big name schools, SEC teams even, don't have anyone. Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Auburn has 1 player. South Carolina has 1 or 2 players, maybe. No, they don't even have any players either. Tennessee doesn't have any players out of the portal right now.
Ohio State's got 16.
No, he's saying it has signed out of the
signed
portal.
out of the
Signed
portal.
out of the portal. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
So most of the big name schools.
I mean, typically you're looking at 3 to 5.
Yeah, but most of those big name schools so far haven't signed anybody, whereas Colorado, I mean, Deion went out there and just snapped up 7 or 8 people real fast.
Yeah, but he had a need.
Of course he had a need. He went out and got some guys on the offensive line, is what I've heard. Hopefully helped them out on that offensive line. But did he make a snap decision? Should he be building, this is what I'm getting at, should he be building from recruiting out of high school rather than trying to snap people up out of the
Well, he
pool?
wants to win now.
Why?
Usually,
Why?
Why? Because he's put that pressure on him.
No.
What do you mean, why?
No.
I already know what you're going to go
Because
ahead.
he wants to get it winning, and off he goes to an SEC school. And you can't go 4-8 in Colorado 2 or 3 years in a row and expect Auburn to come calling or Alabama to come calling when they have a coaching vacancy.
Right.
They're not going to do it.
I mean, I not just because of the
He
SEC
should go 8-4,
or potential.
8-4.
I mean, he's building his own coaching legacy right now. He has turned around a program.
He hasn't turned it
He turned
around.
it
He
up.
won
They won
4
4
games
games.
this season.
That's a
I'm not talking about Colorado.
400% increase over the previous
Like Jackson State?
Yes. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
at a much smaller level. Now
Okay.
he's trying to do this at the Division I level, and then if he can have some success after a couple, 2-3 years, yeah, absolutely. Does it need to be a?
If he goes 8-4,
He's gone.
right? But I'm saying if he goes 8-4, he took a what was it, 1-10,
1-11.
1-11, took him to 4-8, and then goes 8-4. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
8-4 and he's gone, you think? I mean,
Yeah.
that's barely a turnaround as it is.
Well,
I
what
mean,
else-
I guess you go from 1-11
What else?
to
What
8-4
else will he
two
bring
seasons.
to that university? Lots of exposure.
Exposure, yeah.
Lots
the
of
other
money.
thing with him that I'm interested to see long term, this is kind of digressing for a second, is the polish is starting to get a little tarnished as some of these players he threw out and how he went about conducting his business.
Oh, did you
telling these
see
kids
that
are
interview?
gone. Yeah. I mean, everybody thought he's this guy about the kids. And no,
He didn't even shake that guy's hand.
Correct.
I mean, insane, man.
So the popularity, the Deion train is starting to get a little bit lighter because they're coming to find out he kind of is the asshole everybody used to think he is. Truth be known.
I mean, you could talk a good game, but when it really comes down to your character is what you do behind closed doors when no one's watching.
Correct.
And that's exactly where that interview showed me where his true character is.
And the thing is, it's
Shake
not,
the kid's
if
hand,
if that was one kid, you go, oh, he just is bitter. You start to hear more of that stuff coming out about how he ran those kids off out there, and you're just kind of like, look, he's well within his right to do it. Every scholarship's a 1-year contract.
But do it with integrity.
Do it with some dignity and some integrity and say,
Yeah.
hey, man, you're just not what I'm looking for. Here, let me help you get somewhere else. No, he's like, get out, get your crap. I don't care what happens to you. And that's just rough, man.
Oh, yeah. Because those kids dropped everything to come to Colorado to play football for him, or not for him, for that team, and then he comes in there and gives them the boot in a rude way.
I kind of blame the administration a little bit because they ought to have been like, again, I know what you're doing. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Pump the brakes a little bit there.
Do it the right way.
Now, on the portal thing, he went out and got like 45, 50 people from the portal last season. It didn't do them that much good this season. I mean, I bet if he came back with the same team last year that he had last year and came in and played, I bet he probably could have won 3 or 4 games that way,
The team that was there?
Oh, yeah.
Nah, they were bad.
One more year of experience?
No, they were bad.
Okay.
They were real bad.
Okay, so let's say they won 2 games that season, then, right?
All right, so he just doubled their win total?
Doubled their win total.
No,
but
that's not success.
You know, maybe part of his not reaching some of his initial goals in his first year at Colorado is because it was an actual up year for the Pac-12. Maybe that had something to do with him only winning 4 games as opposed to 6 and getting to a bowl game.
You might be right on that because they had, I think they had 5 teams that were undefeated halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Washington State, Oregon State.
Arizona came on late.
Yep.
So, maybe.
That could be. I mean, it might have just been an off season for them, but they're
USC
going.
looked good, the first 2 weeks?
Yeah, but they're going to the Big 12 next season. You're losing 2 of the bigger players, Oklahoma and Texas, out of the Big 12, but it's still going to be relatively competitive over there.
You're talking about the Big 12, not the Pac-12.
Yeah, the Big 12.
Pac-12's done.
Yeah.
the
No,
Big 12's
Colorado's going to the Big 12 next year.
Did you?
It's going to be competitive.
I digress for a second again. Did you see Shador? They asked him and said, if you could build the perfect quarterback, and they said arm strength, speed, IQ, and it went down like this laundry list of like 6 criteria. He named himself in 3 of them.
Hey, where do you think he gets that self-confidence from?
No, that's not self-confidence. That's arrogance. Yeah, he named himself. Like IQ, he named himself. I'm like, Peyton Manning, no. I'm smarter quarterback. I mean, basically he said, I'm the smartest quarterback that's ever played this game.
They're already saying, I've already heard it said that this guy, they're building a line around this guy for the 2024 Heisman Trophy winner. We're building the line for the 2024 Heisman Trophy winner, which good confidence to say that, I guess. You got to speak it into existence. It's kind of like one of those things from like that movie The Secret back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But come on,
say it, make it
man.
happen.
Say it, make it happen, but then again, don't be a jerk when you don't make it happen, right? Moving on, I got my Choach Prime talk in. So, does a team build better through the portal or through high school recruiting then? What are our thoughts?
It's your coach's philosophy. Deion's just to win now and not build players. It's go get what's proven and not. Here's what I think you're going to find. In the Power Fives, it's going to be very portal dominated in terms of how they build their teams. You get down to the Group of 5, they're going to the high school. Because they know they're not going to grab these big premier, Power
They're not going to get the 5 and 4 stars out of high school. They might get some 3s.
So they want to come and build out of high school and take it from there to where once they can keep them around. The problem is now, though, the way this is, the Group of 5 has become the minor leagues. They have 1 or 2 good years, and they're going to get the money.
Yep.
Now, again, this thing comes back around to NIL every time we have this conversation.
Which is the Power 5 are going to be working the portal because they pull a kid with 2 years eligibility that's proven himself.
I mean, it was near to me, it was a big deal that Appalachian State's quarterback, who was 4th in the country in total touchdowns this year, threw 44 touchdowns, came back to App State. He's already said he's coming back, but yet he cuts a commercial about how they need to be funding their NIL concept up there. He did basically a promo to send some money to the NIL collective up here.
I think you build, a team through recruiting, but the emphasis now is going to be much more on retention than it ever has been for college head coaches.
I mean, that is such an important piece as the retention side because
more so than ever.
Yeah, for example, for me, I follow everything Florida, right? So I'm looking at the Florida fans, and when ETN made a decision to leave, they're like, "Oh, Billy Napier's losing the house. He can't keep anyone around." He lost 2 players that had stars beside their name, and that was it. 2 players, and they're like, oh, he lost his entire recruiting class from last year. That's the way that the fans were seeing it. But I was looking, I'm like, he didn't lose that many. And I imagine most programs did not lose a bunch of 5-4 3-star players. They probably lost a bunch of guys that were just trying to find a place that they're going to play football at.
I think NIL actually could work with the transfer portal, and that is, think about if I've got a 4-star, 5-star recruit, and we structure their NIL deal in such a way that leaving means they got to go find a better deal.
I guess
like in your freshman year, it's worth X, but maybe it's worth 2X or 3X in your sophomore year. It's worth even more in your junior year. Keep them for 3 years.
Are there no rules around the way that this is formed out or shaping up?
No, there's
what?
rules. They're just not being enforced.
Well, there's very few rules.
No, but the rules they do have some there, but nobody's paying attention to it. But to your point with recruiting, the difference is now, and you're going to start to see these. You're not going to see longevity in coaching anymore. They have to recruit every year. It's not retention. They have to re-recruit players that they've already recruited to get them to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back into how much can I kiss your ass?
I mean, I'm willing to bet you.
The retention is keep them there for the right reason. This is I need to re-recruit you. I need to go do the whole damn thing.
Yeah. So
feels like military all over again.
End of November happens. The last game for Shane Beamer's team. Last game for Billy Napier's team. Last game for a lot of these coaches, right? That are trying to keep those guys around. And December is all about trying to keep these guys from hitting the portal. You know, kiss some tail, kiss some ass, and make sure that these guys stay around and do that re-recruiting side of it. And then on top of that, you're trying to figure out, okay, how do we wine and dine these 5 and 4 stars that we have coming to our school this month as well, to keep somebody else from leaving as well. You know,
well, another thing that's going to make it harder. Didn't they say 5 out of the last 7 Heisman Trophy winners were transfers?
So now you're showing it's proven to work for these kids. I mean, so they're.
If it ain't working here, I can go over there and win a Heisman.
Until they rein it in,
that's what they're seeing right now.
This is the Wild West.
Now, in the NIL, I've heard that the NCAA has some things in place right now to try to figure out how to pay the players as well, to kind of rein in the NIL side of it.
But see, here's where they're stupid.
You can't rein in the NIL.
Oh, you can. They're basically saying now that let's call it what it is the schools to pay them to play.
Right.
But here's the problem you're going to run into. See, with NIL, name, image, likeness,
exactly.
This basically means you took a job. You took a job, you met certain requirements, you got paid. The schools start paying people, now you run into Title IX. If you're going to pay the football team, you better be paying the women's equestrian team and stuff like this, or you get sideways.
And it has to be equivalent.
It can't be gauged based off revenue. It's if I pay you $1,000, I got to pay the women's volleyball team $1,000.
Okay. I think $30,000 is what I heard.
I mean, I'm just saying this.
And Marvin Harrison might make $20 million if he stays at Ohio State next year.
Is that really going to happen? Do you think? I mean, that's
I saw
insane
20 to 25 million right now.
The only good thing about NIL is that
good players in school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It does.
It keeps the good players playing football in school.
Yeah.
The 25
Not
or
in
30
school.
that can generate that much revenue, I guess, or generate that much excitement for their teams. But I can't imagine there's more than one player per team in the SEC or in the Power 5.
But hey, if they put it down to the schools, what if you got these state schools? I mean, is the governor going to get involved in some of this?
Well, again, the problem you got there is you've already got some of these academias who hate athletics on the college campus, that now they're like, you don't pay the teachers, but you'll pay these kids to come up here and play a sport. I mean, it opens a can of worms that is just
But think about this.
I mean, you got DeSantis already,
Let's say you're the governor of Florida, since you mentioned his name. Do you want to put rules on a wall around NIL, and Georgia and Louisiana and Alabama don't have those same rules? Hell
no! It gives your team the teams in Florida will have a huge
Ohio doesn't want to give Michigan an advantage. And
No, I'm saying, but this was proposed by the NCAA president. Probably won't pass, but I'm just saying that's what he had suggested and proposed.
The NCAA allowed NIL, did not fight it to the Supreme Court because they saw how irrelevant they were becoming with these super conferences. They're now trying another straw to stay relevant. how the NIL finally shakes out is in 3 to 5 years, once a lot of these contracts run out, they tell the NCAA to stick it to Power 4 conferences or Power 3, ever how it shakes out. Go, we're going to live by our own rules. We're going to determine our rules. They're all three going to get together and go, look, we've got to have some construct around this, or we're all going to end up just screwing ourselves every year. Let's set the rules and take it and go with it.
But here's the deal. Name, image, likeness cannot be controlled by the schools or the conferences. It is a direct contract between a player and whoever is paying them for their name, image, and likeness.
A lot of that contract stuff is happening, though, through the boosters at the schools.
Well, and that's the other thing, too, is it's supposed to be just that. But, again, they're not enforcing it. The problem
the
you got
NCAA
is...
can put restrictions, but if you were a football player and I own a manufacturer that makes floor mats and I want to put you on a commercial,
yeah, it's
and
a
I want to
contract.
give you
Sign me up.
$10 million.
I need some money. I'll take 5.
Well, it's the
Pay
same.
you 5 to do a
But the
commercial.
point being is-
NCAA and the school can't do squat.
The thing with that, though, is two things. You're right. One, though, people are saying they're going to do that, and then they don't make them fulfill their obligations. Okay. Number two is you have these collectives that basically you funnel money in that, and these collectives pay the players.
That's where
That's
it's
pay to play.
You know, if Johnny Manziel were playing during the days of NIL, he would have died before he got drafted.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
he
that-
snorted everything he
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it would have been insane. Yeah, I just watched that documentary on him.
He would have been the first college football player getting NIL from the cartel.
Yeah, the Mexican drug cartels have had him
Interesting
sponsored.
He
concept.
gets paid in lines.
Yeah, he gets paid in lines before the game.
off
Off of a stripper's ass.
one of his many.
So not a family show anymore?
We've decided, without Chopper here, we've decided to run it to the gutter, baby. But hide the kids. It's going to get bad.
That's
All right.
it.
Hide the kids. All right. So, you know what? Let's turn the page on college football for a little while.
Bob Seger.
I do want to bring up
What else is there?
I do want to bring up one other thing, though, is that we have the Bowl Mania pool going on right now.
True
If
story.
anyone's listening, they could participate. We literally, I think we have $400 in that pool right now.
I did pay you. I was going to say, I still owe you. I
Yeah,
did pay
you paid me. Yep.
I did.
Let's
So
see
we-
if I have any Venmo bucks.
yeah, I think we
I
have
told you that. Here's $15 for you to stop molesting the dog next door.
whatever 25 times 15 is. That's how much we have, and I don't know math, so. That's how much is in the pool right now. I'd like to get that thing up to 1,000, but I don't know that's going to happen. That would be like probably 60, 70 people, and that might be too much for me to manage. But if that's the case, join it if you want to. It's fun.
I gotta
Good
load
times.
some Venmo bucks, buddy.
You need 66 people to get it to 1,000.
Yeah, Ripper, did you already get into this pool?
Now I gotta load my Venmo with some money.
I don't even see Craig in there
I'll talk to
either, so.
I'll talk to Who's Your Daddy.
Oh no, Who's Your Daddy
What is
is
wrong
in
with
there. He
you?
was one of the first ones in. I do not see Chief in there
You
either.
never
so.
see me in there.
Well,
I did have a listener the other day ask me, says, how the hell did you get the name Rebel? I go, long story.
They're a Barney Rebel. Barney Rebel. Yep. And then they're like, oh, I can see it. Barney Rebel. Okay.
I'll tell you where my entry fee went. Clemson University.
I'll see it.
All right. Well, that's fine. You might be able to pay for some books if you win it. See what I'm saying? But
Also, yeah.
turning the page on college football for a few minutes, and let's move on to some. I'm gonna skip. Should I skip the basketball because we only have a
What?
Hey, you
All right, we're gonna go with the
a
questions
cursory
on
review.
basketball. Let's do a cursory review of basketball, college basketball. Last week, Ripper was not here, but I said in the question, is there one team that's standing out as dominant? And Rebels like, oh yeah, Arizona, right?
And guess
Oh,
who's ranked number 1 in the country?
Yeah.
Team
I
to
told you
watch.
so.
We have Clemson, we have Ole Miss, both undefeated right now as of yesterday. I don't know if they're still, because one of them might have had a game. But obviously both of those teams are beatable. I mean,
Yep.
it's not even conference games going on right now. How do you think conference play will affect these teams, though? These ones that are looking good, like Clemson. They're playing in the ACC. That's a tough place to play.
ACC to basketball is SEC to football. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean,
And they're back this year. They have 5 in the top 25.
yeah, they are, and I mean, but they're going to. The ACC is going to lose some games here and there.
Yeah.
But when the cream rises to the top, as it always does every year, and they're right there.
Are we
going to
be looking at Duke and North Carolina?
not Duke, but North Carolina's top 10.
Yeah.
Duke could get it figured out. They're a good team. Begrudges me to say that. They're a really good team. They just, I don't know what their problem is right now.
second-year coach.
And maybe, but talent-wise, they had to get the preseason possible player of the year, down there, sophomore, and I can't even say his freaking name, Kapowski or whatever his name is.
Okay.
Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah, that's it. No, but the thing is
They're gonna get easier names.
To use Chopper's reference when it comes to college basketball, it's early, it's a lot of games. It's fun to talk about right now.
And unlike football, where you do see occasionally an undefeated season or a one-loss team at the end of the
You don't see that in college basketball.
Well, college basketball is great. You
Rarely.
can lose some games.
Yeah, because they have a tournament.
Get into the tournament. Just get to the tournament. It's kind of their mantra now. Just get in,
Play your
and let it
conference
play
tourney.
out.
All I know
We
is
just need to
play the big
need to
dance.
stick it in a little bit. That's it.
it may be
We just need to get in.
it may be December, but watch out for Tom Izzo in March.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Michigan State?
Yep, every
Oh,
year.
yeah.
And who you
Every
don't
year.
ever want to be worried about is Tennessee because
Tennessee's doing well.
No, they're not. Rick Barnes cannot win the big one. He couldn't win it at Clemson. He couldn't win it at Texas with Durant and I can never remember the guard down there. Tennessee, they're going to be good.
DJ Augustine.
They'll get into the tournament, but they
proud of me?
will not win it. I am proud of you. So.
The SEC has some. Ole Miss is undefeated, but then you have the staple players as well. Alabama, I think they're 8-3 or something like that.
Got knocked off by the Ohio State University.
Is Ohio State looking good this year?
Not bad, but they just lost to Penn
to
State.
give
They blew a 17-point lead.
To give you
so.
some idea, Ole Miss is undefeated. They're not ranked
Yeah,
because they haven't played anybody.
they haven't played anybody because there's one tournament in the very beginning that plays a lot of the top 10 teams, right? Remember the Champions Tournament or something like that?
But I will say, it begrudges me to say this. It makes me want to puke, but I'll give credit where it's due. At the end of the football season, James Madison is ranked in the football top 25 and the basketball top 25.
Yeah, JMU was 20
and
this
I'm
week,
like,
I think.
makes
Poor
me
fella.
want to puke. But,
you don't like James Madison?
Huh?
You don't like James Madison
pukes?
University?
No.
You know Mitch went there.
I do know Mitch went there.
Okay.
So did
He
Stephanie.
reminds me every time they beat App State. I'm like, man,
he
take your ass up the
does.
road. I don't want to hear it.
That's y'all's thing, though. Whenever y'all play.
But he's I had to give him a little bit this year, and I was very glad of that.
Yeah, for sure. UConn's looking pretty good right now.
As always.
Can
Yeah,
they
they beat
can they
North
have
Carolina
a
last week.
can they win again the national championship?
You called it early last year.
I called it as soon as
they?
it started. Actually, I called it halfway through the season.
Right.
I think
Could
in
it, but
February
they're-
I was saying they're going to win.
So this is one where NIL is kind of a cool thing for college basketball.
Okay.
Because these kids jumping ship after 1 or 2 years. They're staying in college basketball. So actually the quality of college basketball is kind of going up.
You
a
think
little
so?
bit. Yeah. Because, again, these kids that would normally dip after their freshman year, they're sticking around too. North Carolina last year, granted they way underperformed, brought back their entire starting 5 from their national championship run.
Yeah,
And
that's
then this
crazy.
year, I think they brought back 3 starters from last year's team. And, it's college basketball is reaping good benefits, but you're not seeing, the difference is, you're not seeing basketball portal jumps the way you do in football. It's just not occurring. Why? I don't know.
Well,
just
it's
not.
a smaller group of players. You got 12 players and a 12, 13,
But
14 players.
you
on a
have
team?
more teams. Like you have schools like UConn in football, but UConn
the
in
worst team in the country.
But
Yeah.
UConn in basketball. But now start thinking about that. Like Big East, you don't hear about Big East football schools, but you hear about Big East in basketball.
You know, he's not here tonight, but I think he would probably agree with me when I say this. The team that I'm watching the rest of the season to probably make a run all the way, Houston.
Yeah.
Houston, yeah.
They
Last
look
season
good.
they were good.
They've been lingering
look
around for
good.
a couple years.
Were they a
look
1
good.
seed last year or the year
Yes.
before
So,
that? Yeah.
The difference with Houston is last year they were running gun, small, shoot lights out. So if they couldn't hit a 3 ball, they lost. They did. They beat everybody. They actually got a little size this year to where they can actually get a few rebounds here and there. Houston is not a bad pick. They can play.
So getting back to your NIL pitch on college basketball, do teams like Purdue and Indiana, which have always had good teams, but they're not like running the gauntlet anymore, right?
Yeah.
Do those teams that have that fan base that's older, that remembers the glory days, do those types of fan base start donating to those teams so they can start getting those bigger NIL deals for these guys, or what?
I mean, they're getting some solid players already.
They do, yeah.
It's possible, but to give you an example, the National Player of the Year last year was that big kid from Purdue. He's preseason Player of the Year again this year. He plays for Purdue. He could have easily jumped ship and gone to Duke, North Carolina, UCLA, Texas, where they got all this money. He's still at Purdue.
And he's probably still making decent money at Purdue.
But it solidifies those teams like Kentucky, like
You don't need as much to go around on a basketball team.
You don't. You need, you have 5 starters, right? So, I mean, it's not like you're going to have to sit there and pay that many people.
Correct.
It makes $1 million, bro.
So it's one of those things of NIL keeping the quality basketball in. I think that's about the only positive you ever hear me say about it is college basketball quality. Well, now, what the negative of that is, it was there. You basically had the one-and-doners, and you had the Butlers of the world who had these kids that played together for 4 years.
Yeah.
That's how they competed. Well, that kind of starting to squander down again because, again, now you got the really good players staying there for 3 and 4 years again.
Gordon Hayward.
Yes, sir. Why did he hit that shot at half court? I want to hear that deep garbage. Anyway, go ahead.
What's the strongest conference to play in college basketball right now?
ACC.
ACC all the way?
Every day, every year.
Well, I don't know. I mean, North Carolina's down a little bit. Duke's definitely down.
North Carolina's number 10.
From where they have been traditionally, where have they been in the last 3 years?
Yeah, the last 3 years.
3 years ago, they made
they won the national championship.
No, they came in second.
And then
they
That's
sucked
2 years ago.
And
2 years
then?
ago, and then this year they're ranked number 9 in the country.
Yeah, well, we've only played 10 games.
To the point, the ACC is always there at the end of the year. Moving on.
Yeah, ACC. I mean, Big East has a lot of good teams in there, but there's only like usually 3 or 4 ranked, right?
I was gonna say Big 12's looking pretty good this year too.
I mean, Kansas is always looking good. And
That's
then you
about all
have,
they
I think Big 12 has the most
Baylor's
ranked
usually
top
pretty
25
solid,
schools
But
right now.
they can't finish either.
Yeah.
Baylor's like Tennessee. They can't finish. They'll get there. They'll make a good run. They peter out once it gets pucker time.
What you got?
kind of like Ripper the Predictor.
Oh!
What?
They get going and they peter out.
They peter out in the end.
And
They can't finish.
No, that's never been an issue.
Oh my God! All right, sorry. I told you all to hide the kids, so you know. All right, next, moving on.
Buzz through the NFL.
Blow through some NFL. What happened to the Eagles in Dallas last week?
That's pretty easy. The Eagles' problem is Jalen Hurts is hurt. He can't run, and he becomes a very average quarterback when he's not dual threat.
And Cheeks ain't here.
I mean, she would tell you the same thing. He's not a pocket passer. He's not going to stand
What's
back.
his injury right
he
now?
hurt his knee. His knee's all busted up. So when you know he's not going to take off and take those RPO type plays,
Boom.
they just
Rush in.
Or they don't even have to rush.
Get him.
They don't have to let him stand back there and just cover over the top because they don't have to worry about him scrambling out of there.
Yeah, he needs
Yes.
to go left and right for
Yes,
sure.
that's their problem right now. You get him healthy, you'll see the same Eagles you saw in the first half of the season.
Chiefs lost the Cowboys last week.
Bad, like 33 to 13.
It was bad. What happened?
Cowboys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To the Bills.
Bills.
I was still on what you were talking about.
Sorry.
They lost to the Bills, and then Mahomes
I looked
cry.
at Dallas. On my notes, I looked at Dallas right above the
Mahomes
Chiefs.
lost his mind there, huh?
Yeah, he didn't get the calls for once, and now he wants to whine. He basically said, well, they shouldn't have called the offside. What? It's a penalty. You call a penalty. I don't give a damn what it is.
And
It
it was
looked
one of
pretty
the most
offside to me.
obvious
It already
penalties.
was.
Yeah.
But then they were sitting there going, they were like, well, why didn't they call it the 3 times earlier in the game when he was there? I said, they just didn't see it. So don't give me that. Now you got the conspiracy theorists coming out saying it's all rigged, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. It's a penalty. Call a penalty. He was like, it's one of the greatest plays ever. Now won't nobody remember. That's right, because it wasn't a play. It was a penalty. Shut up. God, I used to not. Look, he never bothered me. He's now becoming very LeBron-esque.
Have you? Oh, don't do that. But
LeBron-esque.
have you seen the dub over when he's talking and it's?
Oh yes, it's hilarious.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Are the Ravens going to win their conference?
They're
Yes.
going to Super Bowl.
They're going to the Super Bowl.
All right, now
the Super Bowl.
Did you call Detroit and the Ravens in the beginning of the season?
No, the beginning of the season I said Detroit and Cincinnati. When Burrow went down, I go, I don't see that. The Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl.
They're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's a big call, man.
Well, they don't have to win the division to do so. Right now, there are 2 games up
Yeah.
in the division. We got 5 games left.
Yeah,
4 games left.
they're showing
4
as the
games
number
left.
1 team.
Yeah.
Right now, so
Number 1 in the AFC because everybody else keeps losing.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Ravens fan. I actually can't stand them, but they're going to win the Super Bowl.
No.
Lamar Jackson, their quarterback.
Yeah, an Ohio team is going to prevent that from happening.
Won't happen.
He's a good quarterback, though, man. Ever since he came on,
He is, but he also said, at the beginning of the season that he was going to throw for 6,000 yards this year. I don't think he's going to hit 4.
Well, he's a running quarterback. He's
he's not just a running quarterback. He can throw it, but the numbers just aren't like he thought it would be.
Yeah, he could go left and right. He can go north, south, whatever he wants to do, right? Did I just say that?
No,
Are you laughing at me?
No,
Did I say something wrong there?
No, I'm reading your list, and I'm going, why in the hell did you have the Buccaneers and Green Bay on this list?
Because I love the Buccaneers.
They're awful. Why would you put? You might as well
because they're winning their division right now.
Hey, are they?
So
they are 5-7 or something like that.
6 and 7.
6 and 7,
terrible.
and they're winning their division.
Yeah,
That's sad.
Well, no, they should be 6 and 8, right?
They're 6 and 7.
hold on.
I think they might be 6
13
and 8.
games.
13? No, it's 14 now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll tell you exactly.
Whatever
what
it
they are.
is.
So either 7 and 7. Did they win this Sunday?
Huh?
Did they just win on Sunday?
I can't remember, man.
That's your team.
They are 6 and 7.
They're 6 and
They're
7.
6 and 7.
That's what I
The
said.
Falcons are 6 and 7.
trying
The
to-
Saints are 6. They have a bye week. Man.
He's
You got a
trying
bye
to
week in there. You
confuse
got
me
bye.
over here, man.
Yeah, this year I think you do get 2
Okay,
buys.
okay.
So the Saints, Falcons, and Tampa Bay are all 6 and 7. The Panthers are 1 and 12. That's that division.
Yeah.
Well, there's a strong division.
Oh, yeah, that's the
Not.
strongest division in the NFL. That's
Look,
why it's so
I
hard to
used to
play
say
there.
that too, and I watched the Seattle Seahawks at 7 and 9 win a playoff game years ago.
Last year, I called Tampa Bay getting into the playoffs when they were like 4 and 7 or something like that because they were like second in their division. So I mean, this is not a hard place to play. Now we got to talk about San Francisco because somebody's over there staring at me like talk about San Francisco, and we always let our fans in for a minute. Tell me about San Francisco, man.
Tell
How
me
are
about
they
those
gonna do?
defensive
They
ends.
do have the highest power ranking right now in the NFL on 24/7 Sports. So.
I think we're in a great spot. Our defensive ends, man. We got Chase Young and Bosa on
Where are
the
they
other
from?
side. Where are they from?
Yeah.
You know where they're from.
You gotta
That's why-
speak
yeah.
louder, man. This is a microphone.
Oh man. Okay.
We're recording here.
When you've been drinking real stuff at the bar, you guys.
Stella Arts. Oh, you got a shot over there too.
Okay, I don't know what it is.
All
but,
right. This is the noob. We're gonna call him the noob as this is his nickname.
Okay.
We all go by nicknames on the show.
No, but I think we're in great shape, man. Staying healthy is a big thing this time of year, and if we stay healthy, I like our chances.
Is Brock Purdy the answer?
Brock Purdy. I tell you
He
what.
was the answer last season, man.
If he doesn't get hurt,
anyone who's looking at Brock Purdy and saying, "Is he the answer?"
No, I'm looking at you and asking you because you're the fan.
He's the answer more than
He was
anybody.
great in Iowa State.
Any other quarterback in the NFL. You got the best passer rating with every metric. I don't know how you can say he's not the answer. It would
Am
be
I
like,
wrong? But didn't he also play linebacker in college and then move to quarterback?
Man, that is information I don't have. But
You need to do a little research on your quarterback.
Okay. Well, you know what? I don't want him to play next to Fred Warner.
Yeah.
I'll have Greenlaw going against Philly's.
But that's just a
Madman,
testament to his toughness.
Listen, I was a Purdy fan last season after he came in, like was it 3/4 way through the season, won the last 4 or 5 games, and then all of a sudden they get into the playoffs. That was really a good run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was a fan.
And then he couldn't hold the ball, basically.
But I was a fan.
I don't think that was it. We're in the NFC Championship. You have somebody who has a freak injury, and then your fourth string goes down.
It's horrible.
And then you have McCaffrey at quarterback. So I would like to say, hey, we got 4 games left. Let's stay healthy, and hey, bring it, big boys. We got it.
All right, noob.
What the fuck? We do
the
a section
fuck?
called "What the fuck," and I'm gonna lead it off with my man Ripper. What the fuck, Ripper?
What the fuck,
Predict for
Ripper?
us, Ripper.
All right.
The predictor.
So
Give it to me. Give it
not
to me
prepared,
good.
but I got one.
Give it
for
to me
you.
good, big boy.
Every team. Every team in the AFC North above 500 in Week 15. What the fuck?
What the fuck? That's pretty good. All right. Rebel.
This could be mine every week. What the fuck, NCAA? All right.
You say that. It's like your 5th time saying that this season.
You picked the Final Four. You look. Could you be any more cynical? They did it for ratings. They picked the teams for ratings. They picked the teams so that less people could argue about a 12-team playoff next year. That drove the decisions on the Final Four that were in there. Now, they're going to tell you that they picked the 4 best teams. I don't think they did that either because Texas shouldn't be there either, if you want my honest opinion. So, therefore, what the fuck, NCAA, quit being so damn patronizing to your fans and people that watch it because they know exactly what you're doing.
It's the dumbest thing, not throwing Florida State in there at least, just because they are
should have been Florida State
undefeated.
and Georgia. Georgia didn't lose for 3 years, 2-time defending national champion, losing the conference championship game by 3 points, and you go from 1 to 6. Get out of here. I don't want to hear that crap. That's
they lost to Alabama.
I mean, we dropped and we didn't even play.
All right, what the fuck?
I'm still Kyle McCord going to Nebraska from Ohio State. I'm still trying to figure out why Ryan Day doesn't want to keep him as a starter. 11-1. That game again, the only game they lost was close against their arch rival Michigan. I don't get it.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Which college football team surprises the most? We're going to go out on a last call with which college football team surprises a lot of people next season compared to if they had a poor season or maybe even not so poor season this season. But which team's going to surprise us the most? Rebel, you seem like you got an answer already.
I do, but for not what you're looking for.
All right, go.
It's the Clemson Tigers because their decline continues next year.
Their decline continues next year.
Their decline continues.
You think
next
they're off the map completely, huh? They're done.
Look, and
the legacy's over.
I am a big look. Dabo drives me crazy, but I like the purity of how he wants to coach the game. He can't keep coaching it. He can't keep being resistant to the rules that are in place now, or otherwise he becomes very irrelevant.
So he's a freaking stone rock.
He hates the NIL. He hates the portal. He hates all this kind of stuff. Which again, we are one and the same. But he is so far behind on playing that game. They decline further next year.
That's a team surprises next year on the losing side.
Yes.
Good one. Smart choice. All right, Ripper.
All right, improved offensive line play.
Here we
improved
go.
Defensive line play.
God bless America.
Doesn't win, but competes for the East. Your South Carolina Gamecocks, baby.
They have no skill players anymore.
All right.
Sellers at quarterback.
That's about all they got. He's what, 6 foot tall?
Are 6'3".
So the Gamecock. Hold on.
I hope you're right.
The Gamecocks.
And the receiver too.
All right, come on.
All right. Chief,
we need
hit me, man. Give it to me.
I think next year you're going to see a super powerhouse Auburn.
Super powerhouse Auburn?
Auburn.
I mean, they have a top 15 recruiting class coming in.
Yep.
They are getting some stuff in the portal as well. So you think I'm sure that Chopper would be thrilled. And I am going to say Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Oh, here we go. There's going to be one homer picking this. You off the
I didn't know you were a Buckeye fan.
Nebraska Cornhuskers.
The Nebraska Buckeyes
play in the Big Ten championship next year. No, they're not, because they're not going to have a chance.
No, you got USC, you got Oregon, you got Washington.
Now.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right, so they're going to do way better. They're going to make a bowl game. Damn it, man! I thought they were going to win the West.
It's going to be so much harder now.
It's going to be so much harder now.
We only had to beat Iowa before.
Yeah, exactly. All right, never mind. I just blew up my entire.
You blew your load.
Yeah, I blew my load all over your face.
Don't talk to Chief that way.
All right, this show has gone downhill.
Small and large, and that was
Damn, man.
But it's all for fun. All right. And I may have drank too much, and when Chopper's listening to this show, he's going to be embarrassed.
Shots fired, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, besides that point, hey fans.
Hey. But there was a person that wasn't mentioned this entire show, and it warms my heart. Don't you say that freaking name.
Think about it.
Taylor Swift!
God damn it! What did you do that for?
Taylor Swift! Can we get some words of wisdom from Taylor Swift tonight? No, we can't, because this is Guys in the Bar Talking Sports!